Okay, we're back, part 2. All the filing is basically done on this, which is quite nice. It wasn't a big, it was a big job, but there's not that much of it, so that's all now done. So it's just back to conventional paint and everything. I don't know if I mentioned in the part 1, I did actually fit the rudder because it makes this process easier. If I just prime the whole thing, I can work on it better. So I was completely wrong about working on it separately. So what I'm going to do now, I've masked off the foil, and I'm going to give it a coat of Tamiya grey primer, just rattled in. I find that quite good. So I'll do that and I'll come back when that bit's done. Okay, grey primer's down. Just give it a quick sand as well, just to smooth any little lumps and bumps out of it. But yeah, it's alright. Basically, this kit at this point, you can completely finish the fuselage. You can, which I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually paint all the fuselage, decal it up and everything, and then I can fit the wings and stuff afterwards. So yeah, that's the next stage. So I'm going to spray it silver and come back to you on that. Okay, I've painted the rear fuselage. Oh, that's my compressor kicking back in. I've painted the rear fuselage and the tail, obviously. I've done it with Tamiya flat aluminium XF16. Quite like this paint. It's not too in your face. It's okay. And then I've given it 2 coats of LP24. Best lacquer ever. I just love this stuff. You can spray it on anything. It goes down fantastic, and it dries really tough, and you can sand it and do all sorts with it. So that's Tamiya's semi-gloss clear LP24. It's had 2 coats on there, so it's done alright. It's gone down quite nicely, and I'm quite confident that that's good enough to put decals on. Don't have to be completely glossy. It can go onto a satin fit, base quite well, I think. Especially Airfix decals, because I find Airfix decals, as much as the kits might have some reservations sometimes, the decals I think are the best ones ever. So I'm not sure about the colour scheme yet. I've got 2 options. I don't want to do the third one because it's kind of dull and boring. That's the third one. It's a training school from Australia or something. There's no markings on it really, apart from just some roundels and a bit of green paint. So it's either the green one, like this, with a nice green band on the top, and you get decals like this for it, like the right way up, or I'll go for the zigzaggy liney one with the bits of yellow on. So I like them both really, but I don't have to decide just yet. But I do have to paint the top of the deck in this like olive drab colour, which is, I need to mask off this area here, and I'm painting onto foil, bear in mind, so I've got to kind of getting paint to key to this sort of thing is quite tricky, especially matte paint, so I might have to try and key it somehow or etch it in some way, I don't know yet. But if I did it glossy, it'd be fine. Gloss paint seems to bond really well, but matte, it's alright, but yeah, we'll see. So anyway, that's as it stands now, just a quick update, and I'll be back when I've painted the green bits. Okay, all masked up, ready to go. Wish me luck. I can't see it being a problem really. We'll see how it goes. Well, there we go. It's done quite well actually. I've given it a coat of obviously satin again. It probably looks a bit too shiny, I suppose. This is supposed to be completely flat. I can just tickle that up and sand it off a bit and flatten it down if I want, but I don't mind it being like that, to be fair. The masking went quite well. Just there's nothing missed really. A tiny little bit round by one of the little fairing pieces here. Now on the Airfix kit, on the it shows the colour of these little pieces here as being like a gunmetal colour. Well, they're not. I guarantee they're not that colour, because this panel that goes right round here is part of those, I think, and they're kind of panel beaten and part of this piece here. So they're the same colour as the rest of the front end of the aircraft. They're just metal, aluminium. I don't know why Airfix think they're gunmetal, but I don't think they are anyway. So I've done them aluminium. So there we are, that's done. I'm going to let that dry for a fair bit now until I can handle it anymore, but it should be okay. I've got a lot of furniture to fit on the top. I actually cut off the oil filler cap here because it gets in the way when I was filing it. I'm going to make a new one out of brass anyway, so it'll look quite pretty. And it's got the guns to fit, and I've got the gun sight thing to fit on here. Again, I might make that out of something else because the plastic one's a bit chunky in fact. So There we go, that's done. I've worked on the wing actually a bit while I was doing all this stuff. The wing's quite right. It's quite a chunky piece of plastic, is this wing. It's really dense and it's very thick. And I've worked on the trailing edges were like, I think I scaled them up, and the trailing edges were like 50 millimeters thick. If you're in reality, they're about that thick, which I don't think I found it difficult to find pictures of the trailing edge of one of these. I think they are quite chunky at the back end here because it's part of the structure. It's very nature. I think the undercarriage and all sorts of other bits are fastened to it, but this part of the wing shouldn't be very fat really. I've thinned these down considerably, and I've also put in, you probably can't see it on camera, but I've put some more fluting into the top of it because they're quite plain. So I've scraped some more in and I've thinned all the trailing edges down and stuff, which I think it looks alright, but I don't really know how thin it should be. So anyway, I'm quite happy with that anyway as it is. So that bit can be painted silver just as it is. It's pretty. I mean, you could paint it and put the decals on the bottom of it and everything and then fit it on. I don't know yet, we'll see. So the next stage with this is to just basically keep going and put the decals on it and put the green. I think I'm going to go with the green one because it's a bit different. I bet everybody does the green one, but I'm not so sure I like the idea of doing the zigzaggy decals. I don't know, but I think the green one's okay. I'm going to go with that. So the next thing I'll be doing is fitting the decals and doing the tail and stuff. So there we go. Okay, time to add the decals. They're basically on the decal sheet. They've split it into the different markings. I'm using the green ones, which is this in this line here. So I'll just cut these out and we'll start applying these. Okay, the first decal we're putting on is this one on the front of the nose here, and I've put some setting solution on first as well. So that one just lines up with that little what do they call it, that little fairing piece there. Decent paper, isn't it? It just follows the line of that panel line there as far as I can tell. Where have I gone? Not very organised today. Just going to find, oh, there they are. There we go. It just follows that line there. I think this green's alright, but it doesn't have clash with the top deck. It looks kind of weird. It's like shamrock green and then army green. There's quite a lot of big bumps and lumps on that side of the fuselage, so I'm hoping that'll set down. So I'm just going to put some setting solution on it now. I'm not going to rush this process, I'm going to let that do its thing and I'll be back. Okay, so far so good. The decals are quite good actually. They've gone down really well. I've never had any problem with Airfix decals, I think they're great. I think they're just, as decals go, I think they're the best you can get really. I'm not doing this the best. Okay. Very tough, you can abuse the you know, you can just mess with them and move them around, and they're just so forgiving. I think that one there, it just tends to skim the bottom of the tailplane. It's kind of more important for them to line up here than it is at this end, really. As long as they look alright. I don't think it's overly critical as to the location, as long as they, because I think the original aircraft is long gone. Nobody could say that's in the wrong place, because nobody knows. And that can be said for just about every World War II or wartime aircraft. They don't exist, only in photographs. And what does it matter anyway? It's a model, isn't it? I'll give or take, I think that's pretty good. It's nice and straight, lines up well. Let's hit some decal solution on that. So as I'm not reviewing this kit, I'm just doing a build on it, but as a build it's really fun to do. It's dead easy. Everything seems to fit okay. The design of it's quite good. It's a little bit, some of the detail, especially on the wing, is very basic. I think I mentioned on the part one, I don't know what I've done with the wing now. Yeah, on the part one I was talking about the wing itself being quite a bit chunky, and it's very chunky. I've since found some some better reference photographs that show the wing. I can see how thick the wing panel is, and it's nothing like the kit. This kit is like a brick. It's really thick and not scaling anyway. It's really not. The proper aircraft's much thinner on the trailing edges. It depends how far you go, doesn't it? I mean, I suppose it depends how accurate you want your kits to be, and does it really matter, and blah, I don't know. I am thinking about thinning this down some more, because I don't like overly thick trailing edges on wings and tailplanes and rudders and stuff. They just look wrong to me. And also I'll put some pictures up. If you look at the skin, they've got very prominent rib tapes down the centre of each rib, which simply aren't here on this kit. They're not there at all. There's just a little bit of fluting, you know, between each rib of the wing, which is okay, I guess, but I think it needs enhancing, and I suppose it's how much time you're prepared to put into something of this sort of kit. I mean, it's a £30 kit, and it's not an expensive thing, and it'll still look good if you didn't do it, but I'm considering putting some rib detailing, some tape on there. It's finding the right tape that's thin enough, because if you do it too thick it'll look silly. I quite like using this sort of foil. This is self-adhesive foil, is this stuff. I use this for certain areas of foiling that I can't do with the normal foil. It's not too bad. It's a little bit thicker than the other foil that I use, and I might cut strips of that, and with it being self-adhesive it helps as well. And I could create rib tapes with that, just to enhance them a little bit, and then just paint over it as normal with the silver paint. It's a lot of work though, because it means mapping out where every single rib tape goes and stuff like that, but I've got to decide if it's worth the effort, really, on a model of this size. I mean, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. The ribs on the fin and the rudder aren't too bad. On the fin and the tailplane, sorry, they actually show up on that better than they do on the wings. But The top wing's the same. I mean, I'd have to do the same with both wings, obviously because it's a biplane. But the trailing edges look a little bit better on the top wing, and it's a considerably bigger wing as well. It's only a tiny wing in the bottom one. So I've got to consider. I don't want to go that far, and the ailerons are too thick as well. I mean, they need looking at. So I find this with just about any Airfix kit that you buy. The trailing edges are always a bit chunky, so I don't know, I'll think about that. Anyway, back to where we were. These are going down quite nice. I'm quite happy with these. It's going to just encourage that one to sit down better now. So what I'm going to do now is do the other side, and then we'll go back onto the. In fact, no, what I'll do the rudder. There's a decal on there, and we'll see how that goes. So I'll just cut that out. I've started using, when I'm doing decals now, I tend to put them in pretty warm water. In fact, almost hot water, and they react so much quicker. I'm sure other people have been doing that for years and thought, why do you do that? But yeah, I find that's going to cool down quite a lot now. But I'm finding that they react better and they come off the backing sheet so much quicker. So see how long that takes. Back in a minute. That's quick, 20 seconds and they're moving. That's brilliant. Right, let's have a go at this one then. Got to consider that's still a little bit not set, if you like. I haven't put any setting solution on there, so that might be a bit sticky now. In fact, it doesn't want to move. Yes, it does. And I'm being quite rough with this. I'm using my fingers, and some decals would have fallen to pieces. I feel very confident with Airfix decals you can do this. That fits perfect. Look at that, it's fantastic. Absolutely impressed with that. Unbeatable, absolutely unbeatable decals. Alright. I'll let that set and I'll come back. Okay. The decals have all gone really nice. I can't complain about any of them. They fit really well on the tail, or the fin should I say. Yeah, the fin. There's an interesting thing in the thing it says on the, I'll read what it says here. Additional serial numbers, decal number 25, which is this one here. I'll zoom in a little bit. It says they basically provide all the serial numbers, which are the same as those there, if you want to paint that stripe on instead of using the decal, which is quite a nice little touch from Airfix. I wouldn't paint that, I just don't think there's any need because the decals are so good, I don't think you need to do that. But yeah, it's there, the option's there if you want to. What I would say needs looking at when it's dry, these decals are dry, I mean they're not dry yet by any means. The edges will need touching in because obviously they don't completely wrap around. At least I couldn't get them to wrap around perfectly around the trailing edge of the rudder itself. So I'll have to try and get some matching red paint, blue, white and what have you. And it'll need cutting out on that light at the back there. Quite a fiddly little thing, but yeah, I'm happy with that. They're down. There's some little tiny ones to fit on there, like the WT stickers and stuff, and little serial numbers and things, but I'll put them on off camera. So that's that bit done. That's the basic fuselage complete. I'm going to give it a coat of lacquer when they're all dry and stuff, and then it's on to the engine and the wings. I might do the engine next because it's quite a fun part to build, is that? It's like a little model in itself is the engine, so I'm quite looking forward to having a play with doing that. And then I'll consider what to do about the wing situation as I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's the end of part 2.